Hey, what's up guys? It's Segalacious here, long time no see. My job's been keeping me pretty busy as always, but I'm finally on vacation so I can get back to making some videos. A really cool person by the name of the GreatBulzome left a comment on my top 5 best looking Sega Saturn videos, requesting a video in the vein of Burning Rangers or Panzer Dragoon. Well, GreatBulzome, since you have a soft spot for RPGs and you like the Panzer Dragoon series, I thought I would try and surprise you with a mini retrospective on Panzer Dragoon Orta for the original Xbox. To you and anyone else stopping by, I hope you enjoy it. The first game in the Panzer Dragoon series was released on the Sega Saturn in 1995 and established itself as a rail shooter equal in prowess to the likes of Star Fox. This game garnered a generally positive critical reception and experienced some commercial success. The franchise went on to see further installments such as the prequel, Panzer Dragoon Vi, and the highly prized collector's item, Panzer Dragoon Saga, which was an RPG take on the series. There was also a release on the Tiger R Zone, and a Space Harrier-esque installment was released on the Sega Game Gear called Panzer Dragoon Mini. An OVA was released for the series as well, but not much has been heard from the Panzer Dragoon series since its fourth installment, Panzer Dragoon Orta, was released in 2002 for the original Xbox. In fact, the most recent game in which characters and locations from the Panzer Dragoon series made an appearance was in Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform, which was released back in 2012. So what happened? Wasn't Panzer Dragoon Orta any good? Let's answer that question by taking a look at the last installment in one of Sega's many long-neglected franchises. After the release of Panzer Dragoon Saga in 1998, Sega disbanded Team Andromeda, the team responsible for the creation of the Panzer Dragoon games, before moving on to the Sega Dreamcast. Many former members of Team Andromeda joined Smilebit, the team behind the development of Panzer Dragoon Orta. I get the sense that this was the Panzer Dragoon franchise's shot to make it big on Microsoft's Xbox console and finally gain the mainstream success it so deserved. It seems like Smilebit really made an effort to put their best foot forward for this game, as its visuals and production value were quite high for games of this era. You play as Orta, a young woman who has remained in prison her entire life, who breaks free and, with the help of an armored dragon, begins to wreak havoc among her former captors. She encounters a drone by the name of Abad, a form of artificial life created by an extinct race of progenitors whose technology is used by contemporary nations for warfare. It seems that Abad has been working with the Empire that has been antagonizing Orta. Or has he? As stated earlier, Panzer Dragoon Orta is a return to the series' roots and is a rail shooter in its truest form. You are able to move your dragon around a limited area, but are not free to fly around the entire world, which is a stunning sight to behold, I might add. I found myself turning the camera around in 90-degree intervals by squeezing the trigger buttons on the controller just to take in all the sights. By holding down the attack button, you can lock onto multiple enemies and fire multiple missiles at all of your enemies simultaneously. Your dragon can morph between any one of 3 forms at any given time. There's the base wing, the standard dragon form most veteran players of the series would be familiar with, the heavy wing, which sacrifices mobility for higher attack power, and the glide wing, which forgoes powerful attacks in exchange for nimble movement and a rapid-fire attack that is useful for clearing out projectiles. Each of these forms can be leveled up multiple times by collecting floating discs called gene bases, which are dropped by certain enemies. These change the look and stats of your dragon in each of its 3 forms, which is really awesome. You can also boost your dragon if you have enough meter, which doubles as a ramming attack, as well as slow your dragon down to try to avoid attacks or get into a better position. Once your gauge fills up all the way, you can unleash a devastating barrage of laser attacks that will bring your enemies to their knees. The game is divided up into 10 episodes that will test the mettle of the player, even on easy mode at times. And each of these episodes has alternate branching paths that provide for a wealth of replayability that will keep you coming back for more. But this only scratches the surface, as completing the main story also unlocks extra features in Pandora's Box, in which you can play side missions from the perspective of a young Imperial boy named Iva. By completing the main game on any difficulty, you can also unlock the PC version of the original Panzer Dragoon in the appendix section of Pandora's Box. There is an unexpected wealth of extra content, and it is also time sensitive. What I mean by this is that all of the game's extra content will automatically unlock simply by playing for a total of 20 hours. The story is enthralling, and the lore of this universe is surprisingly deep and becomes more fascinating the more you dig into it. The music is fantastic and will burn itself into your mind as you play through the game. Honestly, between visuals, music, gameplay, replay value, and story, Panzer Dragoon Orta has it all. It was also highly acclaimed by critics of its day, with many calling it one of the greatest Xbox games ever made and even the greatest rail shooter of all time. After playing through the campaign, I would have to agree that this game is amazing and one of Sega's best achievements. So what happened? Well, Panzer Dragoon Orta was a commercial bomb. As of 2017, I don't think its sales ever surpassed 300,000 units worldwide. This game is a heartbreaking example of a truly masterclass game that is beloved by critics and fans, but ignored by consumers at large. Maybe the Xbox wasn't advertised well enough in Japan. Maybe Panzer Dragoon Orta wasn't advertised well enough in Europe and North America. I really can't explain it. The pieces are all there, but the series just didn't catch fire. The members of the development team behind this wonderful installment seem to have all gone their separate ways, and the Panzer Dragoon series seems to have ended for good. That's really such a shame. But at least there are still games like Rez out there that employ some of the basic mechanics and gameplay style honed and perfected by the Panzer Dragoon series. There may not ever be another mainline Panzer Dragoon game, but at least the series went out with class. Orta and Blue Dragon, the memory of your greatness will live on in the hearts and minds of fans for generations to come. Well, that's it for my short retrospective on Panzer Dragoon Orta. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing to show support for these kinds of videos. And as always, be safe and take care.
Beautiful free country. It just makes me feel that I'm really a lucky guy.
Dad! Your hand is jammed in the toaster!
What?
Oh, God, get it up! Get it up! Get it up!
Dad, it's in there again!
Ah, no! Ah! It's stuck in my head! Ah, it's stuck in... Ah!